Hey guys, it's Sagar, and in this video, I'm going to compare the Xiaomi 12 Pro with the OnePlus 10 Pro. These are top-of-the-line flagship phones from both the companies, and they are priced somewhat close to each other. I've had both these phones for over 2 months now, so I've spent a fair amount of time using both of them together and separately before making this video. When comparing two phones, or any two things for that matter, almost always the first thing to consider are their prices, so let's begin with that. OnePlus 10 Pro is priced at 66,999 rupees for the 8GB RAM and 128GB storage variant, and 71,999 rupees for the 12GB RAM and 256GB storage variant. You can get both these variants at 6,000 rupees less with a few card offers. Xiaomi 12 Pro on the other hand is priced at 62,999 rupees for the 8GB RAM and 256GB storage variant, and 66,999 rupees for the 12GB RAM and 256GB storage variant. You can get both these variants at 10,000 rupees less with a few discount and card offers. So if you look at their prices, the Xiaomi 12 Pro definitely wins this round. It's not only cheaper, but you also get 256GB of internal storage even with the base 8GB RAM variant, while the base variant of the OnePlus 10 Pro just comes with 128GB of internal storage. Now coming to their design and build. Both of them get a metal frame sandwiched by curved glass on either sides. Displays on both of them are protected by Gorilla Glass Victus, and their backs get Gorilla Glass 5. Both of them get a matte finish to their back, but there is still a small difference there. The finish on the back of the Xiaomi 12 Pro is almost silky smooth, while the one on the OnePlus 10 Pro is a bit coarse. I'm not sure if you can make this out on the camera, but when you touch them, you definitely feel a difference there. I like how the back of the Xiaomi 12 Pro looks, but I prefer the feel of the OnePlus 10 Pro. Now thanks to the matte finish, the backs on both these phones don't gather any fingerprints, which is really nice. But they are still very slippery, especially if you place them on a sofa or things like that. I would suggest you to use both of them with their included cases. Now while we are looking at their backs, let us talk about their camera modules. Xiaomi 12 Pro gets 3 cameras in a familiar looking camera module, while the OnePlus 10 Pro gets its triple cameras in a somewhat unconventional looking camera island. You either like this design or you don't. I am not particularly too fond of it, but I must admit it does separate the OnePlus 10 Pro from other phones. Both phones get a 6.7-inch display, so both of them are pretty huge in terms of overall form factor. OnePlus 10 Pro is however a few millimeters narrower, making it fit a bit better in my hands. Xiaomi 12 Pro is slightly thinner, a hair taller and 4 grams heavier, but you can't really tell that even by holding these two phones side by side. When you're holding them together and move your fingers over the edges, you feel a smoother transition between the front glass, frame and back glass on the Xiaomi 12 Pro, while you feel all the edges on the OnePlus 10 Pro. So I would say Xiaomi paid a bit more attention to the details on this 12 Pro, which is always appreciated. Now this of course doesn't matter, or you won't even notice it if you're using these phones with a case on, but I still thought it is better if you know. Other than that, both of them feel like solid devices when you have them in your hands. I like that both of them have curved edges at the back as well, which makes it holding these big phones a bit easier. Like I said, OnePlus 10 Pro is a hair narrower, and I also prefer the texture of its back, which makes it feel slightly better to me while using it on a day-to-day basis. Taking a look around these phones, both of them have their power buttons on the right side. Xiaomi also has the volume up and down buttons on this side, while OnePlus has placed the alert slider here. I don't know about you guys, but I find the alert slider extremely convenient, and I am surprised that why haven't other manufacturers implemented this on their phone. Xiaomi 12 Pro doesn't have any buttons or ports on this side, but the OnePlus 10 Pro has its volume buttons here. OnePlus just gets the noise cancelling microphone at the top. With the noise cancelling microphone, Xiaomi also has the ion sensor and speaker grill at the top. At the bottom, both of them have their speaker grill on the right, main microphone, USB-C port and a SIM tray. Now this USB-C port on the OnePlus 10 Pro is Gen 3.1, which supports faster data transfer rates, while the one on the Xiaomi 12 Pro is still the painfully slow USB 2.0. I just don't understand why Xiaomi still keeps on using this. This is one of their top-of-the-line phones, so at least on this one, they should have given us a USB 3.1 port. Before we go ahead, if you have liked this video so far, please consider hitting the subscribe button and turning on all the notifications for this channel. It is free and takes less than 5 seconds of your time, but it goes a long way in helping my channel grow. Now coming to the thing that you will be spending most of your time looking at, their displays. OnePlus 10 Pro comes with a 6.7-inch 120Hz AMOLED display with a resolution of 30:16 by 1440 pixels, LTPO tech, 800 nits of typical brightness and 1300 nits of peak brightness. Xiaomi 12 Pro comes with a hair taller 6.73-inch 120Hz AMOLED display with a resolution of 3200 by 1440 pixels, 1000 nits of typical brightness and 1500 nits of peak brightness. Both the displays are gorgeous. They support HDR10+, and the Xiaomi 12 Pro also gets Dolby Vision support. Now there is no DC dimming option on either of these phones by default, and I'm sure you're seeing some kind of banding on the screens of both of them. I tried to look for the DC dimming option, but I couldn't find it anywhere. If there is something that I am missing and any one of you knows about it, please let me know in the comments and I'll make a note of it in the description section. But if you're someone who is very sensitive to the pulse width modulation on AMOLED screens, you will have a tough time adjusting to these phones, especially the Xiaomi 12 Pro, so be aware of that. Both of them have a punch hole cutout for their front-facing cameras. Xiaomi has it in the center at the top, and OnePlus has it on the top left corner. I think they are both pretty similar in terms of their size, but I like the placement of the one on the Xiaomi 12 Pro. It gives the display an overall symmetric look, and we also don't have anything displayed at the center, so it never gets in the way. Now you will not notice this when you look at them individually, but when you compare them side by side, you will see the Xiaomi 12 Pro's display to get slightly brighter both in indoors and outdoor lighting conditions. But the difference is really small, so for your day-to-day usage, I won't be reading too much into it. That being said, if you watch a lot of content, you are going to love doing that on these phones. Colors look equally good on both. Blacks are deep, contrast is amazing, and the overall media consumption experience on both these phones is excellent. There is a slight warm look on the OnePlus 10 Pro's display, and everything looks slightly sharper on the Xiaomi 12 Pro's one. Both of these are things which, depending on your preference, you may or may not like. Both of them have variable refresh rates, which means the refresh rate of the display changes automatically depending on what you are doing or what is being displayed on the screen. This is done in order to preserve as much battery as possible. After using both these phones for a long time, I think the fluidity of the display and the overall smoothness of the whole UI is better from the OnePlus 10 Pro. If you have been following me for a while, you might know that I am not the biggest fan of the curved displays, and that hasn't changed while using either of these phones. I used these phones without a case for a good amount of time, and my god, the amount of accidental touches can get really frustrating. You can get rid of this to a certain extent by using a case, but I would much rather prefer a flat display for my phone. Both of them get optical in-display fingerprint sensors, and they are equally fast. They are also placed about 1.5 inches above the lower bezel, which is my preferred location. I've seen these placed a lot lower on some of the phones, and it becomes really difficult to reach when you're trying to unlock the phone with just one hand. While using the fingerprint sensors, you get the taste of the vibration motor inside both these phones, and the one on the Xiaomi 12 Pro feels much better. Xiaomi has also played well with the different haptic patterns throughout the user interface, and that combined with a good quality vibration motor elevates the overall experience of using this phone. Coming to the speakers, OnePlus 10 Pro gets dual stereo speakers where the earpiece acts as a secondary speaker, whereas the Xiaomi 12 Pro gets a quad speaker setup with a dedicated speaker grill at the top and bottom. While the ones on the OnePlus 10 Pro sound a bit louder, you can definitely feel the difference in their sound quality. Xiaomi speakers sound much fuller, deeper and richer compared to the ones on the OnePlus 10 Pro, which sound a lot harsher and seem to distort a bit at higher volumes. If you use your phone speaker while consuming content or playing games, go with the Xiaomi 12 Pro and these speakers will definitely blow you away. These speakers on the Xiaomi 12 Pro have been tuned by Harman Kardon and they have done a great job with it. Coming to their internals, both of these phones pack in the hotcake Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor with Adreno 730 GPU, 8 or 12 GB of LPDDR5 RAM, and 128 or 256 GB of fast UFS 3.1 storage. OnePlus crams in a 5000 mAh battery inside this 10 Pro, while Xiaomi was only able to find space for a 4600 mAh battery inside. This bigger battery on the OnePlus 10 Pro does make it last slightly longer than the Xiaomi 12 Pro on a single charge, but only slightly. And if I'm being honest, I'm not too happy with the battery backup on either of these phones. They will only just get you through your day on a single charge, but if you have a heavy day, you might want to use both of them up by the late evening or night. Yes, the OnePlus 10 Pro gets a bigger battery, but OnePlus is not throttling its performance, so more battery is consumed on it. Whereas Xiaomi is doing some serious throttling on the 12 Pro to help it run cooler, and they are also much aggressive with killing the background apps. All of this helps the battery on it last almost as long as the one on the OnePlus 10 Pro. To make up for the smaller battery capacity, 12 Pro comes with a 120W charger against the 80W one from OnePlus. Yes, the 120W charger will theoretically help you juice it up in 18 minutes, and the 85W charger should get the OnePlus 10 Pro to 100% in 32 minutes. In everyday usage, I found these numbers to be 20 to 21 minutes and 35 minutes respectively, which I think is still pretty fast. Both these phones also support super fast 50W wireless charging via their proprietary chargers, which are sold separately. Personally, I would prefer a longer lasting battery rather than a faster charging one. Which one do you prefer? Let me know in the comments. Now to compare their performance, I'm not going to throw a bunch of benchmark scores and graphs at you. Instead, I'm going to talk about the actual usage experience. Although both the phones have similar internals, Xiaomi 12 Pro tends to run much hotter even if you're not doing anything too demanding on it. I guess the internal cooling on it is not working as efficiently, or maybe they haven't optimized the processor to perform well under their thermal envelope, Or maybe they just brought a low-yield, less efficient batch of processors from Qualcomm. But this does make the Xiaomi 12 Pro lose out a lot of its performance while performing longer tasks. OnePlus 10 Pro on the other hand is somewhat better at managing the heat and doesn't throttle the processor all that much. To be clear, OnePlus also gets really hot while handling some heavy workload, but its performance is not throttled as much as the Xiaomi 12 Pro. A part of this blame has to go to Snapdragon because their 8th Gen 1 processor has really bad thermal performance. We have seen heating and loss of performance to be an issue on many other smartphones which are using this processor. Don't get me wrong, both these phones will get all of your daily tasks done without any issues or much heating. So if you don't push your phone hard enough, you don't have anything to worry about. But I'm sure some people buying Pro phones will like to push them a bit harder and for longer, and that is when they start getting hot and losing their performance. If you're a gamer, then these phones run the game well, but you might not get the best sustained gaming performance for longer gaming sessions on the Xiaomi 12 Pro. So think really well about what your needs are before you spend your money on either of them. With their sizes and internals being mostly the same, their software and UI is what separates both these phones. OnePlus is running OxygenOS 12.1 on the 10 Pro and Xiaomi is running MIUI 3.2.5 on the 12 Pro, both of which are built on top of Android 12. OnePlus's OxygenOS is supposed to be the lighter UI, but honestly, both these UIs seem snappy to me. Swapping between the screens, opening apps, everything is smooth on both these phones, but the animations seem to be slightly quicker on the OnePlus 10 Pro. They both also provide you with a ton of customization options, but in this department, OnePlus takes a step further as it lets you customize almost everything on your phone to make it look and feel just the way you like it. OnePlus has however lost its touch in terms of software updates, while Xiaomi is doing great in terms of updates, especially on their top of the line phones. Now these are Android phones, and if you don't like how they look, you can just slap a new theme or even a custom ROM on it and make it look or feel however you want. That brings us to one of the most looked up thing on smartphones these days, their cameras. Both get 3 cameras on their back. OnePlus 10 Pro gets a 48 megapixel primary camera, 50 megapixel ultra-wide one and an 8 megapixel telephoto lens. Xiaomi 12 Pro on the other hand gets 3 50 megapixel cameras, main, ultra-wide and telephoto. Both can shoot 8K 24fps and 4K 60fps videos with their main cameras. OnePlus 10 Pro can take things a bit further and shoot 4K 120fps videos as well. They both get 32 megapixel front-facing cameras. One on the 10 Pro gets a wider f2.2 aperture, while the one on the 12 Pro gets f2.5 aperture. Sadly, for some reason, both these front-facing cameras are capped at shooting 1080p videos. I am all for the smartphone cameras being able to shoot videos in highest resolution possible, but I am not a fan of 8K 24fps videos coming out of either of these phones. First, 8K videos are capped at 24fps on both of them, and second, both these phones skip quite a few frames while capturing these videos, which make them feel even more choppy. So no matter how sharp the 8K videos are, or how much more information they have compared to the 4K ones, I still won't shoot any 8K videos with any of these phones. 4K videos are a different story. OnePlus 10 Pro can shoot 4K videos at up to 120fps, and if you slow them down in editing, these videos look excellent. This right here is my most favorite feature on the OnePlus 10 Pro. Xiaomi can take 4K 60fps videos, and these videos look really good from both of them. OnePlus has lot more saturated colors, whereas Xiaomi adds too much contrast to all of its videos. You can play back these 60fps videos as they are, or you can slow them down to half their speed to get a slow motion effect. Here are few images from both these phones. You can check out these images and decide for yourself which of these took better ones. For a lot more image and video samples and a detailed breakdown of all those images and videos, make sure to check out my camera comparison video between these phones after you are done watching this video. I will leave a card to it at the end of this video and also link it in the description section. For now, you should know that both these phones take amazing images during the daytime. OnePlus 10 Pro captures great dynamic range, but the colors it captures are not how they looked in real life, and some of its shots turn out to be a bit softer, especially in artificial lighting conditions. Xiaomi 12 Pro takes detailed looking images, but in all of its shots, there is a lot more contrast which I am not a big fan of. But even then, it is overall consistent in the way it captures colors. If you are more interested in low light photography, then the huge main image sensor on the Xiaomi 12 Pro does a much better job. Again, for a lot more image samples and detailed analysis, make sure to check out their camera comparison video. I will admit the difference is not all that much, but since this is a comparison video, I am going to have to pick one over the other. And considering all the points that I have mentioned thus far, I think the Xiaomi 12 Pro gets an edge over the OnePlus 10 Pro. It comes in at a slightly lower price, and even if you want to go with the base variant, you will get twice the amount of storage compared to the OnePlus 10 Pro. Its display is a hair taller, but the difference in the brightness level is very apparent when you start using both of them outside. And the speakers on the Xiaomi 12 Pro are on a whole new level. It even gets the small things like haptics right, which elevates the overall experience of using this phone. And again, its main camera performs a bit better during the daytime and a lot better once the sun has gone down. So if all these things are important to you, then you should go for the Xiaomi 12 Pro. But keep in mind that it won't give you a sustained peak performance for longer tasks like gaming. So if you're a gamer, consider going with the OnePlus 10 Pro. It even offers you 4K 120fps video shooting option and an amazing dynamic range in some of its shots. And its battery will also last slightly longer than the one on the Xiaomi 12 Pro. So if these things matter to you, then go with the OnePlus 10 Pro. In the end, both of these are top of the line phones from the respective brands and they perform really well when looked at individually. So no matter which one you decide to go with, you are going to get an amazing smartphone with very little to complain about. If you plan on getting any of these phones, I will really appreciate if you get them from the affiliate links in the description section. That is it for this video guys. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to the channel for a lot more quality tech videos like this. You can also check out some of the other videos from this channel. This has been Sagar and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.